why there are no reptilians and grays and Anunnaki and all that bullshit ass shit that they're using to distract you. Why those aren't real. And you're gonna know that there's no such thing as a gray or an Anunnaki or a reptilian as soon as I'm done with this. I've been in and out of these rabbit holes for a long time, and I just want to explain. I'm not going to be too long-winded about this, but at one point I was under the understanding that maybe there were reptilians around. There's a claim on our blood and all these things, and that Lucifer was the king of the reptilians. Well, I started listening to certain people that were kind of on the same wavelength, and I was kind of debating on the idea of whether there was a real Lucifer. I ran across a cherub picture, didn't think anything about it, thought maybe he was just a little man or a midget or something. Come to find out, that was a cherub. Come to find out that you got a being in here spraying nanodes everywhere with barium and aluminum. The nanodes are landing on everything and allowing them to create an infrared so they can have 1,000 eyes and be omnipresent themselves. Why in the fuck would they want that? That's like playing God. Who the fuck would want to do some shit like that? Once again, we're back at that same loophole, rabbit hole. I was deceived, and I do now understand that anytime there is a deceptive measure in it, it will take one and throw them into like an atheistic type of place. Like when I was very spiritual at one point in my life, when I was believing in a lot of lies that was told to me within the church, and I became an atheist as a regard. And it's supposed to happen like that. Those are different instances that create predictive protocols to take you into the ultimate of darkness and confusion and all of that shit. All of that shit's there to do that. You know what I mean? They switch out the guys that give you Jesus Christ where you accept him as your Lord. But what about Lord God though? He's the one that's running everything. He's the one that created the earth. What about him? No, just Jesus Christ. That's the only one you need to pray to. Man, what the fuck is going on? So, anytime somebody wants you to worship a different deity that's clearly somebody else who's calling themselves the morning star, they're trying to make themselves omnipresent. There's a firmament ahead. There's no real grays being produced, only scare tactics like Area 51 and movie propaganda. If they didn't want you to know that there were grays around, they wouldn't put it in your movies. They wouldn't tell you about Area 51 if they didn't want you to know there were grays around. That is a bullshit lie, because they can't produce a gray to scare the pants off of you to keep you in line. The alien agenda will never scare the pants off of you unless you can see a real true gray, and they can't produce it since the 1950s. What about reptilians? Only reptilian overlays on YouTube. It's got everybody scared out of their wits. Doesn't mean that there are real reptilians around. If you see kids run out of the classroom since the 80s and you're wondering what was up with that weird kid and he turned out to be a reptilian, maybe if you could see one motherfucker like that, there might be real true reptilians. Until then, there aren't none other than the firmament, Lord God, and the deceptors.